Are you tired of studying for pointless exams? Do you feel anxious over a piece of paper that might change your life? Do you want to make your parents proud, but you don't want to do the one thing that will make them accept you? Fear not, this video is for you. My name is Sammy G, and I have been a student of the education system all my life, and a tutor since 2019, so I am more than qualified to share with you the best ways of cheating in an exam. I know what works and I know what doesn't work, and I know how people think and how not to think. So sit back, relax and enjoy the ultimate guide on how to cheat on an exam. Disclaimer, I am not responsible for your reckless decisions, so you do this at your own risk. Okay, so before we actually decide on cheating on an exam, what's the context? This is very important when deciding if you want to take high school supplements. Is it an online test, or is it an in-class test? Are you seated in a hall? Where is your table? How many invigilators are there in the room? How long's the test? What have the examiners already thought about? What are the rules of the exam? Etc, etc. It's a lot to think about, I know, but guys, it is crucial that you examine every possible factor before you decide to take an unfair advantage. That way you know what methods you can and cannot pick so that you lower your risk of getting caught. Alright, I'll give you a few examples. In my year 11 mocks, I know that they love to use metal detectors to search students before going into the exam hall. Bringing in your phone is an absolute no-go. So let's say I accidentally brought in my phone and the examiner already knows this. They've thought in advance. They've said if you have your phone, give it in now and there'll be no repercussions. So what do? I'm going to give in my phone because I had no intention of cheating. It was an honest mistake, could happen to anyone. This is better than, let's say, your exam officer saying hand in your phone and we'll give it to you at the end of the exam. You do it anyway and they still try and ban you from ever taking exam again. Does that sound familiar, Miss you stupid cow? Example number 2. Year 4 spelling test. This one was a complete and utter accident that I just saw as an opportunity and we just did it for the rest of year 4. Spelling tests are hard and I can't be bothered to learn how to spell. Like, this script is not spelled correctly at all. It's just spelled so that I can pronounce the right word so I know what to say into the camera. But one day I noticed, hold on a second, all the spellings that I ever need to learn are right there attached to the door. I can just pick one up and then read it during the spelling test. Easy. Now, the only reason why this method worked is because I had my list and I decided to put it between my legs. So I'm looking directly at my seat, directly at my cock. A 10-year-old looking at his crotch in a spelling test is not that unusual. They're not really going to care. A 21-year-old, however, that raises a lot of suspicion. And my final example is year 10 physics second test, I believe? Yeah, that sounds about right. Now, I have taken a test in physics with this same teacher before. I know that whenever he does a test, he always looks on that side of the room instead of over there. So I'm obviously going to sit over there. Ever so conveniently, on that side of the room, there are multiple blind spots for stuff like phones, revisions, textbooks, and what have you. It is easy peasy to read during the test. That way I know what to do to carry a few more notes to get some extra points. Now that you've read the room, it's time to choose your method. What are we feeling? Well, one thing that I know students do a lot is bring in notes to the toilet and then read them there. Perfectly fine method. I don't see too much wrong with it. Apart from the fact that A, you have a limited time because they do monitor how long you spend in the toilet. So you need to be wary when doing this method. Don't spend too long, but don't spend too short of time. You can practice this method right now by doing about 3-4 minutes of revision on the toilet right now. And stop directly when you are done relieving yourself. Also, do keep in mind they might search you before you go to the toilet. Stay conscious, because I have heard cases where they play around the line. They don't cross the line, but they do play around it. Students have told me that they have had to take off their shoes and socks to show that they have no notes, and people do get asked to roll up their sleeves and to lift their trouser pants. Okay, let's also think of another method. Are you going to cheat alone, or are you going to cheat with a friend next to you who will give each other notes, let's say with Morse code or just mouthing to each other? Do it alone. Trust me. Do it alone. Alright, let's say you just want to write some stuff down and you want to read it at your desk at all times. Because you can go to the toilet, but you might forget what you just read. Well, there are 3 ways that I think are pretty good hiding spots in plain sight. The first is between your shirt here, right? Don't write on your hand. We've already mentioned they will ask you to roll up your sleeves. They're not really going to care if you roll them up like this or like this. So you can roll them up like this, but look here, no, look at me. Got nothing here. I'm not cheating. But you write a little bit, you attach your notes here. And then you can read it during the exam. This isn't always going to work. Again, you're going to have to find the right angle in your shirt. And do keep in mind, sometimes your shirt can point that way. So you're literally telling the invigilators, hey, look, there's something written here. So this is going to require practice and trial and error. Another way you can do it is to play around your pen grip. So you can either put notes inside your pen, or let's say, because I write like this, so I can see that here, if I look into the camera, there is where I'll write my notes. The problem is with this method is you need to be able to read small. And if you focus too much about what oh my god, what did I say? It's going to look suspicious. But it is also a viable method, and it's also the least likely to get caught out of the 3 that I'm about to mention. And the final one, and this one is... it's okay, and it's very simple. Look at someone else's paper. So, the way that every single person does this, and it's wrong, is they look at the paper. And usually when people say, oh, look up, look there, look everywhere, yes, you want to move your head. This is good practice. Not in an exam, though. Eyes. Eyes. Oh, you can't see my eyes there. Eyes. Again, this is by far the easiest method because you need literally no preparation. Hell, if someone's gone toilet, their exam is even easier to look at. So you can just peep, look. It's easy, right? The problem is you're relying on other people's intellect. And by extension, their stupidity. So you only do this method if you know 100% of the time that what you've done is wrong. And finally, my final point for this video. This is the thing that will get you from
an okay cheater, like, oh my god, I might get caught,
to I'm gonna score very highly, I'm never gonna get caught. But it's also the thing that will make you click off and dislike this video. Are you ready? Are you sat comfortably? You're still gonna have to revise for your exams. Yeah, I know. Just hear me out for a second though. Think about some of the biggest cheaters that you know in sport. The steroid heads, the dirty tricks, the this, that and the other. If they did not have those dirty tricks, those steroids, those PEDs, they would still be some of the best in the world at their sport. Why do you think exams are any different? And again, how do you know what notes to bring into an exam, what to look up on your phone in an exam, if you do not know the topics that are going to come up? How do you know if your answer is right if you do not know what your exam board actually wants to see in an exam answer? What if, let's say, you miscalculated and you have to bail on whatever tricks you have up your sleeve? You'll still be fine. Cheating on your exam should be nothing more than an advantage, an assistance. It shouldn't be something that will make or break you. And another thing you need to realize is if you revise as an exam, subconsciously, your brain will not think that you're a cheater. You're just like everyone else because you revised hard, just like everyone else. You're just taking some more creative measurements. which is super important because that leaves you to not being nervous during an exam. And if you're not gonna at least revise for your exams, the bare minimum you can do is practice the methods you are gonna use to get an advantage. Come on, guys. If you didn't like what I just told you, then you should have really noticed that I wrote parody in the title of this video, didn't I? So the conclusions are: know what exam you actually want to take, so you know what methods to pick. Pick the methods and know that they have advantages and disadvantages. And still revise hard. That's all there is to it. Guys, listen, I'm doing you a favor by uploading this in February as opposed to April, so that you have time to still revise. You got 2-3 months. You should be fine if you follow this video. Again, not too seriously, because like I said, I'm not responsible for your stupid actions. But if you follow what I mentioned to this video with, I guess, a pinch of salt, you'll be good to go. And hell, if you revise hard enough, you might not even need to cheat an exam. Was there anything else that I missed in this video? Do let me know in the comments down below. If you have any other questions, comments or statements, join my Discord server. It's linked in the description. You can interact with me and my community. Please like, favorite, share, subscribe, and of course, make sure to view.